But this is like some sci-fi movie where the folks suffer because the government has a point to prove. I always tell people I feel like I'm living in V right now. V for Vendetta. If you don't know the comic book, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. I feel like this is V for Vendetta. It's like the government is literally making up bad situations for us to go ahead and fight all of a sudden boogeymen that they made up in order for them to keep power, make money. And here's what's happening in the United States of America. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and everybody is suffering.
Well, Joe, we are military guys, Joe. They always said that wars bring money, right? Wars bring money. So all of this ICE things going on here stateside amongst us, and then the possibility of these other things going on is money all kind of ways in the conversation.
Yeah.
So they don't mind the shutdown. They don't mind y'all not eating. They don't mind the airport congested and all this stuff. They don't mind these things because they got things going on behind the scenes. They still getting what they got to get on
right. The companies that they have invested in, the people, like I said, the rich are getting richer. During this government shutdown, you should really look and see how many companies literally got rich or richer off of this government shutdown. Folks made money off of this government not being in operation. And because it wasn't in operation, these guardrails, because a lot of these government agencies are the guardrails, certain things just kept flowing and going. Now, watch this. Everybody was shut down except ICE and DOJ. And let me pause for a minute. 15 minutes past the hour, Sean. I'm going to be one of the people that say this, and other folks have said it. I believe Donald Trump doesn't want the Epstein files. Now he's all of a sudden changed his course and says, oh, release the files. And you'll see all these bad Democrats that are in the file. I believe a lot of folks don't want you to follow the money in the Epstein file. See, I don't think it's so much about the children and the pedophilia as much as it is about the money. See, I don't think Donald Trump gives a damn about the children. I don't think Donald Trump gives a damn about the pedophilia. I don't think Donald Trump gives a damn about anybody but Donald Trump. And I'll say it again. This is the president, and let me just not bite my tongue. This is the president that most of you voted for, but he did say, man, I can grab him in the pussy. He did say, hold it. Donald Trump did say, and I quote, I could shoot somebody in the head in New York City in the middle of Times Square, and I'll get away with it. He said this. Y'all said he was making a joke. Sometimes I think there's a lot of facts in the humor. See, they with comedians. They say there's a lot of facts in the jokes that the comedians say. Y'all said he was joking. I say that there's a lot of facts in what he was saying.
Joe, I said the best comedians ever have the most truth laced in their jokes. The best comedians have the most truth that's laced and interwoven inside of the joke, man. And also, Joe, what you were saying, I got a rule of thumb, right? Whenever there's a tragedy, somebody getting paid, bro. A hurricane, a mudslide, you name a tragedy. There is some money to be made within every tragedy, bro. A hailstorm, you name a tragedy, somebody getting paid somewhere.
So I want to say this, and this comes from my 8 years of working for a law enforcement agency. I've actually worked for 3 different law enforcement agencies in 8 years, and still I am employed by a law enforcement agency. I want y'all to listen to what I'm about to say and kind of digest this the best way you can. We are doing military strikes on alleged drug trafficking mechanisms that are leaving out of Venezuela that are allegedly funneling this dangerous chemical called fentanyl into the United States of America. Now listen up, I just want y'all to calm down for a second and listen to what I just said. We are doing military strikes on suspected drug activity that is being trafficked, that are allegedly being directed toward the United States of America. These people are bringing drugs into the United States of America. Okay, we're doing military strikes on that. Let me say this. In each one of our towns, cities, hamlets, municipality, there are drug activities going on right now. How would y'all feel if all of a sudden we started doing military strikes on these alleged drug dealers or these alleged folks that are dealing drugs within the United States of America? That all of a sudden we suspect a vehicle that has drugs in it. Instead of us pulling said vehicle over, surveilling said folks, interrogating said folks, trying to find out who the plug is, no, we just drop a Tomahawk missile on top of that vehicle.
Straight drone attack. It was a drone.
Right. We just do a drone attack. Okay, cause guess what? Them drug dealers, let's just be real about it. Some of them are little Ray, little Bookie. Some of them are your sons, your daughters, your uncles, your moms, your dads. Let's be real about this. Your friends, even though some of your friends are community activists, they part-time weed sellers, pill pushers, and dope dealers. So let's say the government said, nah, we're not going to no longer do the law enforcement thing where we surveil and play the little cat and mouse game where we surveil, build a case. You know, all y'all don't watch Power. So I'm going to kind of do it like they do it in Power and in the corner. You know, they got the little room where they got all the pictures and they're trying to connect who's who with what. No, we ain't going to do that no more. What we going to do is we going to play Call of Duty. We're going to call in a drone strike. As soon as we think that vehicle has drugs in it, we ain't going to prosecute nobody. We just going to drop the bomb. This is what y'all voted for. Now, hold on. I always tell folks, people are test dummying stuff in this administration to see can they get away with it. So if they can get away with it in Venezuela, there might be a drug drone strike coming to a neighborhood near you.
And that's how I felt.
Folks voted for this foolishness.
Come on. That's how I felt, Joe, with the first ICE thing in Washington, D.C. months ago. When they first did at the D.C., my mind was already saying, y'all just practicing. This is a scrimmage. This is the shirts and pads scrimmage, you know, the shirts and shorts. Y'all scrimmage to do a whole thing everywhere. They always do it like that.
I'm just wanting y'all to think about this now. Think about this. Think about, for the sake of the safety, you got to listen to this conversation. Donald Trump says, I am doing these strikes in Venezuela, and I may go into a ground war in Venezuela for the safety of American folks, because this horrible drug called fentanyl is coming from Venezuela. So hold on. I ain't saying none of this not happening, but what happened to due process? So all of a sudden, if I hear and I believe I can go ahead and be judge, jury, and executioner, pay attention.
So, Joe, are we going to find out 10 to 15 years from now that they're not finding whatever in Venezuela? Kind of like they did with the whole nuke thing. They're trying to find nuke.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold, let me hit it. Hold on. Some of us, I ain't gonna mention no names, but some of us served in war, not in a combat scrimmage, but we served in a war called Desert Storm, where there was weapons of mass destruction called WMDs. We went to war, and the American people said, we got to go over there.
Yes.
The boys got sarin gas.
Yes.
They got all kind of stuff. They got weapons of mass destruction. But then some years later, when the truth come out, and mind you, how many American lives of young men and women who went into combat and lost their life because they raised their hand and swore an oath to death to protect the Constitution, come to find out that there were no weapons of mass destruction. That actually, it was funny to me that the last time I went to Iraq, what I come to find out is on every oil well, Earl, in Iraq, there's a name called Halliburton. And God bless the man because he passed on and went to glory. But somehow a vice president had some connection. Pay attention,
y'all. No, Joe.
See, here's where, guess what? Some folk need to raise their hand, look their good self in the mirror and say, I done fell for the okie doke one too many times. Some folks, and I ain't gonna mention no names, some folks who have came on this podcast and defended the Trump administration, the conservatives and the Republicans over bathroom issues. And don't get me wrong. Let me be the first one to say, I'm not conservative or Republican, but I don't want no man in no bathroom with my daughter because the man himself as a woman. Let me make that crystal clear. Let me make it crystal clear. And let me say something else. I haven't been to this so-called thing called commercial church in a long time. So as a friend of mine would go, yeah, I haven't been to this thing that y'all commercialize called church in a long time, because I have a spiritual relationship with my God. And guess what? I found out something. Just like when all of a sudden they tell you certain things you stop eating, you'll start feeling better. Man, do you know not how clear I see things now? How I sit down and listen to folks when they shut up a Honda, hallelujah. And I just look at them and go, okay. I go, okay.
So you said the scales have been removed from your eye, the scales and the veil.
Do you know how good it feels now to shake certain people's hands and say, good morning, Pastor? And I'm like, good morning, how you doing? See, because once you get the toxins out your system and you start eating what's correct. See, that's why they didn't like Sebi. That's why they didn't like Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was telling you killing yourself because you dying and eating yourself to death is profit for them. See, they got to create a problem because they have the antidote to the problem. But if you never catch the problem, they can never sell you the antidote.
They always profit off the pain, man.
Y'all need to pay attention.
Pay attention. Now, Joe, I watch a lot of military podcasts, right? And it hurt my heart a lot of times.
Yes, sir.
I went doing peacetime whenever I served 2000, right? But the amount of guys on the podcast talking about, man, whenever I saw the Twin Towers fall, I wanted to get over there so bad, and I wanted to join so bad and get over there. They was all gun-ho for the wrong thing, Joe. They was all gun-ho. They couldn't find out when they get over there, it's not what you thought it was.
Hold on. Fact. Most of the terrorists from 9/11 came from Saudi Arabia. We didn't invade Saudi Arabia. We invaded Iraq. We didn't turn over. We didn't turn over the regime in Saudi Arabia. We turned over the regime in Iraq. So once again, and I'm
Joe,
just
who did he have at the White House last week? That's from the guy. Yeah, some guys at the White House last week. That's from the situation, right?
What, from Venezuela?
No, not Venezuela, but like some people from the side of the whole 9/11 thing. Yeah,
from
at the White House, right?
From the Saudis. Yeah. I mean, hey, look, the Saudis have gifted a very fine plane. See, once again, y'all got to understand something. Y'all talk about Donald Trump was such a great businessman. Well, this great businessman was doing so much great business that there was not a bank in New York or in the United States of America that would give Donald Trump a dime. He got all his money from, forgot to tell you, Trump is not Swedish. He did lie to y'all and tell y'all, me and my family from Sweden, but Donald Trump is German. So guess who was financing him? The Deutsche Bank. The Deutsche Bank. And guess who was doing business with the Deutsche Bank? Epstein. So let me go back to the Epstein files. this Epstein situation, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the pedophilia and the children. Though, let me tell you something. Us average Americans need to be very concerned about this because it has already been propagated out in the atmosphere that there is some secret society of evil rich folks who all they do is have these great sexual escapades, but all they do is rape and plemish children. And guess what? That may be true. I don't know. It may be true.
Yeah.
However, right now, while y'all trying to talk about the kids, and the kids are very important, and for those of you who talk about the kids, trust me, I work for SNCC. I work for SNCC. I have did some things where I've seen some stuff that dealt with how people treat children, babies, that is sickening to anyone's stomach. But let me say the following. Right now, y'all need to follow this money in this Epstein thing. Guess what? I have seen, okay, if we dropping bombs on suspected drug cartels, bringing drugs into the United States of America, what should we be doing to folks who rape and sexually abuse children?
What a question. What a question. So, Joe, you say he had German ethnicity, right? Not sweet. Right. He wanted to question Barack Obama's birthright citizenship and all this kind of stuff. He had birth certificate and all that. But you want to falsify where you're from?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. First of all, the United States of America, last time I checked, is a country of immigrants. The only people who have rights to this land are the natives of this land, who this land, through forceful means, was taken away from them. They were herded up just like folks, dare I make the comparison, to the Jews and what happened to them in concentration camps during World War II. But that's what happened to the Native Americans here when the immigrants when the individuals came over and decided to claim this land for their own. They were herded up and put on reservations. They may not have been put in gas chambers, but they were herded up and put in certain areas where this is where you need to be. And the rest of this belongs to us.
And they had the Trail of Tears, right? The Trail of Tears.
Right,
and all.
right. So mind you, and I go back to say it again, because I have people who are non-melanated who tell me all the time, Joe, especially, I love it when I see us melanated brothers hanging around with these non-melanated folks who happen I'm not prejudiced. Look at my black friend. However, everything you have, you did not earn it. Your family, somewhere down the line, it was not an even race. It was not an even race. And I'm not going to sit there and jaw jack with you and act like we own the same sheet of music. We not. Until you admit, hold up, if you and I had the same starting point, I'll probably be working for you. I'll say no more. 32 minutes past the hour. I know some folks are like, man, he should have stayed gone. He should have stayed. We were gone for a minute. We should have stayed gone. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and let the cat out the bag. I will be gone for 6 months. I don't know if I'm going to start the 6 months in December, January, or the 1st of February. But I'm going to be gone for 6 months. In my 6 months of hiatus being gone, I'll continue to support Sean P. and the Griot Podcast. I'll continue to support Alethea and In the Passenger Seat. Y'all continue to support the esteemed alumnus from hashtag Truth Be Told, Community Conversation, Brother Fatim and WBLS and the Open Line Online. Y'all continue supporting everybody out there that's trying to get good, wholesome information to y'all about what's really going on. Not these folks that are trying to say, look at me, I'm the HNIC, listen to what I say. Go listen to folks who say, here's the information. I'm not telling you what to think or how to think, but here's the information. Research it for yourself and begin to think.
Yes, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you to think.
That's it. I'm not telling you how to vote, but I am telling you. Now, listen, in some cases, we do need to tell people how to vote because once again, you can't tell me. And everybody who's on here, I don't care if it's my good friend Douglas Guidry. I don't care if it's my good friend Eddie Barnett. There's no way you can tell me. There's no way you can tell me. But if it was the 5th, we all be drunk, and we really don't have no proof to back up my next statement. But there's no way you can tell me that if right now it was President Kamala Harris sitting in the White House, that we would have went through this shutdown, that we would be going around bombing without any due process suspected drug. Because if they can bomb them in Venezuela, they can start bombing them on American soil. Think about it.
And guess what, Joe? For those that don't know about this, you got Tulsa, Oklahoma, aka Black Wall Street. You got Philadelphia, 1984. I was 3 years old. The move bombing. The 2 times they bombed on U.S. soil, on black and brown people, by the way. 2 times they dropped the bomb here in the U.S. So it has happened historically. It ain't no brand new stuff.
Hold it. Let us not forget, not only black and brown people, let us not forget Waco and Koresh. Come on. I'm just saying, listen, now, once again, when does the crime justify not going through due process? Because that's really what we're doing here with this situation in Venezuela. We're saying that there is alleged drug, there has been alleged drug. Hold it. I ain't seen us bum rush Colombia. Everybody know, if you want to talk about drugs coming into the U.S., go to Bogota. Hold it, be exact. They have did a whole reality show about the DEA in Bogota. Yeah. And how people are steadily going through that airport trying to smuggle drugs into America. But I ain't seen us dropping no bombs in Bogota. I ain't seen us hitting no boats coming out of Colombia. Listen, there have been drugs coming out of Mexico. Oh, wait, let's talk about the drugs that come out of Canada.
Right. But Joe, the U.S., they would have to almost implicate themselves in their hand in all of this said drug activity that we all know is historically documented.
Excuse me, my good naval friend. Excuse me, you wouldn't be referring to one American patriot, one American hero, one Colonel Oliver North. No, not Oliver North that be on Fox News. Not the contributor who can tell you that they falsely accused me of what, doing arms dealing with drug dealers. What? No, not the honorable Colonel. I've seen people get kicked out the army for less, but not the honorable Colonel Oliver North. Come on, fam. See, watch this. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it. Pay attention. Hold on. I wasn't going to do it. God knows I wasn't going to do it, but I got to do it now. Oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. Because if I don't do it, I ain't going to feel right. I'm back, y'all. I tried to stay away. And trust me, these 6 months, y'all going to be happy I'm gone. But I got to do it. When I tell you I got to do it, I got to do this. If I don't do this, I ain't gonna feel right. So, with no further ado, I think y'all need a little something. I normally try not to do this because when I do it, folk get upset. But guess what? I think y'all need a little something. So, without any further ado, I ain't gonna say a lot, but I'm gonna let a brother that I'm starting to get to know say it for me. So once again, pay attention.
We are now in a state of a great deception, where facts are not facts and reality is perception. And everything you read on your feed is feed. And politicians cross party lines to keep us deceived. You see, historically, black people have been traditional, but white Democrats say blacks have to be liberal. So we adopt a co-op trying to avoid a fall. But if you handpicked our choice, that's not a choice at all. And what about Republicans? They just want to divide us. Yes, they're racist too, but they don't pretend to like us. So we don't pretend to be friends and fester by their feet. The only thing worse than a wolf is one dressed like a sheep. So you can be a sheep and go sleep with the shepherd, But regardless of what you hide, they both support genocide. They both support assigned bills that kill black and brown children. Replace gravestones with luxury homes and buildings is gross. How they netting in Benjamin, search Yahoo for the brazen fundraising to push imperialism. They use a war machine that's worth trillions to colonize civilians and spread materialism. Remember 2020 when we was in isolation? Nobody could go to work, so the government had to pay us. Then they used our own trauma to play and manipulate us up until election day just to sway us in their favor. Basically made crime legal. And it's not the rich that suffer, it's only the disenfranchised people. To drive down the property value, ignite fear. Buy it for cheap, then make a huge profit in 5 years. But there's a threat, Project 2025. We've been in the projects and still managed to survive. We've been marginalized and denied our rights too. So the things they scared of, we lived our whole lives through. They use black people like political ping pongs and parade out paid celebrities just to sing songs. It seems wrong, but the fear is intact because the puppet strings are green and there's a pact with the bureaucrats. They all follow that dogma to make Parma. They all have to answer to karma and big pharma. They all fall in line with their donors and lobbyists just to render private agendas so it's not so obvious. This is the modern day Roman Empire, controlling most of the map, but it still has to collapse. Landed of pill poppers, junkies, and meth heads. I think it's safe to say America's on her deathbed.
Oh. That's all
No
I can
joke.
say. That's all I can say.
No joke.
Yes, sir. Talk to me. Talk to me now. Talk
First of all, for years, I love the brother Lon Smith. If y'all don't know Lon Smith, he should
on.
be on TV more than what he is. Should be on the magazines, on the main stage.
Yes,
But our
sir.
greatest MCs, you don't see them on that main
Right.
stage, man. But he mentioned the celebrities being used, right? I
Mhm.
saw an article on Washington Post last night about Nicki Minaj is supposed to be meeting with Donald Trump to discuss some things, right? Now, I find it odd every time this man talking to Steve Harvey and Ray Lewis and Jim Brown and
Kanye
well,
West.
okay,
West.
Kanye West. But I'm like, no knock to them. They're not the focus. They got people that studied this stuff for all their life. You're not talking to them though. When it comes to politics and social matters and the economy and housing and food
Donald
and
Trump is a pure
you talking to
narcissist.
some
And
celebrities?
he does not want anybody in his sphere that tells him he's wrong. He doesn't want to sit there. See, if Dr. King was still living, Dr. King would never make it to the White House because Dr. King would look him in the eye and tell him the same way he told LBJ, this don't work for my people. See, let me say that. We got to have black men and women who can look power in the eye and say, this don't work for my people. Mr. President, all due respect, you can do what you want to do, but this don't work for my people. See, that's the problem. We don't have them type people no more. We got people calling themselves community activists, revolutionary, but they not in them rooms looking people in the eye saying, hey, this don't work for my people. Because they know the moment that they say that this doesn't work for my people, they will not get the invite in the room anymore. See, and it means, hold it. Let go ahead. There it is. Some of y'all will not relinquish you being in the room to tell the truth. See, if it comes down for you being silent, when you in the hood, you umgawa. When you on social media, but see, here's the thing. You even tell them, because I've been in the room and seen it. I saw your live. I saw what you said on social media. Yeah, I have to say that to keep the people in a certain position. Y'all literally sit there and explain to non-melanated folks why y'all say certain things. In other words, it's only words coming out my mouth just to calm the masses. Because if I told them what I really know, they would turn on me and turn on you and hold it. And quote unquote, I am your nigga.
And you and I spoke on this last week about when you stand firm on your stance, you're not wavering. I'm not trying to change what I'm saying on Joe Dupree show. Then I'm over here saying something else, and now I'm over here saying something else. I can talk to one straight line and repeat myself if I need to. I'm not trying to capitulate to certain things and certain people.
Hold on. If my words don't get me in certain rooms, if my words don't get me certain jobs, not to liking myself in no shape, form, or fashion to a person I've read named Yahshua in this book. But guess what? He said, I said what I said, and if it costs me my life, this is who I am. If I can't get into the room with the Pharisees and the Sadducees, guess what? You talking about my daddy's, where my daddy from? Hold on. So even though you talking about it, man, I be about it. I'm from there. Hold on. As an esteemed comic book reader and a sci-fi exponado, and I got to say something here, 44 minutes past the hour, but I'll get to that in a minute. I tell folks, I'm a big dude with the predators now. I'm a big dude with the xenomorphs. And understand this, even though y'all don't understand, there's different predators on Yautja Prime. See, Yautja Prime is just like the Earth. You know, everybody on Earth ain't the same person. You know, you got Americans, you got British, you got different predators on Yautja Prime now. That's why, even though y'all don't want to talk about the predator, you know, the feral predator in Prey, different predator, you know, it came from a part of Yautja Prime where it was straight up the hood. That's why he look a little different. That's why his dreadlocks ain't as strong as other predators, because where he come from, it ain't them type of resources. You can't be looking around looking good. You got to be straight up ready for war. That's why he liked that up close combat, because all his life, all he know is how to fight. See, that's why when my man Locksmith said, hold it, they trying to tell you about Project 25, man, we from the Jecks. And we ain't suffered one day yet, have we? We made it.
Our whole lives.
Y'all worried about stuff that stuff that would have killed them, we have survived.
Yes. Easy, Joe. Easy. And you know what, Joe? Unfortunately, this is the reason why some folks, I'm not co-signing this, the mentality mindset. They feel like, man, I'm going to vote for what? Because they feel like in my whole life, it doesn't matter who's sitting in that seat, we always, somehow, some way, we survive. It ain't never been sweet. Mama always had to do what she had to do. Grandmother did what she had to do. We did different various things, but we made it. We have food on the table, our lights on, we got shoes on the feet, we going to school looking fresh. We supposedly made it. That's the mentality, because we had to, bro. We had to.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a choice.
Right.
Not a choice.
You know, this HNIC, these gatekeepers, we talked about the gatekeepers, we talked about the HNICs. Family, we got to pay attention. I don't have a problem being led if you're a real leader. Some of our leaders, to live in a nice house, to drive a nice car, and to be at certain tables, y'all have sold your soul, because y'all are like this in front of us, but behind closed doors, y'all talk to Monsieur Candy with the fervor of nothing but a Stephen, and your whole objective is to protect Candyland and protect your stake in Candyland, because you at least a nigga in the house in Candyland.
You know what, Joe? This is a good time for a little slight segue, right? Because you the man that might know the answer to this question. Mm-hmm. I'll be very hypothetical, so nobody ain't getting offended in real life or nothing. Let's say you have a city, a small city. You have 3 different organizations that's doing the same thing, Joe. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they partner their resources together? Why wouldn't they marshal their things together? Why wouldn't they say, you know what? We can draw a bigger crowd and we all do it together. Versus you do it on Tuesday, we do it on Friday, and y'all do it across town. Why wouldn't we partner? But all the egos involved, all the egos at the leadership level, all the mindset, you want your name on it, you want your face on it, I don't know. But to me, whenever I see it, I find it disgusting that 3 different situations in the same place cannot be on the same wavelength. What do you think in your analysis?
Because unfortunately, as Black and brown folks, we do not know how to stand independently on our own. I'm reading a book right now. Thank you, Sean P. I'm reading a book about the Black Panther movement and what made the Black Panther movement such an inspirational movement, and how we should focus into that movement to understand how they cut folks out the movement, because they said, we don't need your help. See, that's a problem. So many black and brown folk are so dependent on non-melanated folks that some of us feel like if the non-melanated folks ain't in it, it ain't gonna work for us. So what we do then, instead of, unfortunately, and in the Pan-African movement, let me say that again, in the Pan-African movement, Shine knows a great deal about it because he reads a great deal. But Marcus Garvey also said a great deal about this, that our biggest problem is we try to integrate ourselves in places that we should not be integrated. There should be some segregation and some separation. And unfortunately, I'm starting to see that more and more. And unfortunately, I do have friends that are white. And I'm not just saying that as they use me as quote unquote token on South Park. No, I have friends that are white, but they are my friends not because they're white, it's because they're good human beings. See, sometimes we're too busy putting certain things in the equation that don't belong in the equation. Good people are good people regardless of what color their skin are. And until most folks start acting like that. See, that's why if I was right now the president of the United States of America and I was deploying ICE into our cities to get illegal immigrants out, they wouldn't just be going after black and brown folks. They would be going after a lot of folks who are illegal, because there are illegal immigrants here that are not black and brown that have been here on student visas for years. They would not just go after black and brown folks that happen to speak Spanish. No, they would go after black and brown folks who happen to speak Hindu. Oh, let me stop. Oh, but wait a minute. Y'all sometimes don't want to follow the paper. See, because right now, if you go to any one of our little bodegas or corner stores, however you want to call it, bodegas, whatever, you know, I think that's what they call it on the East Coast. But when you go into these places are ran by black and brown folks that don't speak Spanish. And I don't see ICE jumping in trying to check their paper. Oh, see, but that's the problem. See, there lies the problem. The problem is we are now using politics, military, and law enforcement to strategically strike who we want to strike and our enemies. Like Donald Trump said, now release the papers. Why? Because I want the Clintons investigated with Epstein. I want the Democrats invested with Epstein. Hold it, leave my name out of it, but go and watch all these bad folks, and everything happens to be us against them. Oh, be careful, y'all, when you see folks coming in these Trojan horses telling you that we bear gifts, because all they want to do is get inside the gates of Troy. And once they get inside those big, tall gates that you built up to keep your people safe, they will run and ransack the city of Troy.
You know what Trump's trying to do, Joe? He's trying to pull a Nino Brown on New Jack City. He said, this is bigger than Nino Brown. He's trying to, you know, it's not just Nino Brown, it's bigger than Donald Trump.
Right. He point right at light-skinned Bill Clinton, talking about that's the leader of CMB. It wasn't me. I'm too black.
Yes. Those switch, the bait and switch.
Hold on. How many of y'all would let the fox watch the hen house? No pun intended, but how many of y'all right now, if you had hens who laid eggs, and a fox came to you, and a fox knocked at your door and said, hi, how you doing? Aren't you a fox? I am. Don't you eat hens? I do. What do you want to do? Protect your hen house. I want to protect it from all the other creatures that would like to come in there. I want to protect it from the snakes. I want to protect it from the dogs. I want to protect it from the ferrets. I want to protect your hen house from everything that would eat the eggs and the hens. I'm going to hire you, Mr. Fox, because you sound quite genuine. Seems to be you have a track record of protecting hen houses. Oh, I'm just making a comparison to Mr. Fox to Donald Trump. See, Donald Trump was a great businessman. Yeah, he filed for bankruptcy time and time again. Donald Trump was a great businessman. There are people out there that still are owed thousands of hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars by projects that Donald Trump started that went bankrupt and he haven't paid the people. But guess what? Mr. Fox, I know you're nefarious for eating chickens, but I will put you over my hen house. And I promise you, by me putting you over my hen house, I will wake up in the morning and there will not be one feather on one hen touched. Because sir.
I tell you what, Joe, I'm a book man, as you know. If I want to get some finance books, I would not be finding a book for Donald Trump. to study finance. That would not be my go-to material for business acumen when it comes to finance. It will not be.
You know, let me say something. Brother Guidry said something that is very true. I was once a recipient of said job. So let me raise my hand. This statement here is one of the truest statements that I've seen on the feed right now. It said, let's face it, some of our leaders have jobs. Okay. Some of our leaders, no, mostly all of our leaders, not some, mostly all of our leaders have jobs that were given to them by the very people that oppressed us. You know why? Because we have been taught to hate one another. So when we get into leadership positions, instead of us giving jobs to one another, we still let them be the gatekeeper, and we still let them be the ones that let us in and let in who we say let in, or let in who is most beneficial to them, even if you don't like them. That's where I was at. The Black community, because guess what? The Black community didn't like the guy before me. They really didn't like him. Oh, Carlos Harvin. Carlos Harvin was not liked by the Black community. I was somewhat liked by the Black community because I was a radio personality that was fighting for the Black community, fighting for a community I was not raised in, born in, but a community that I saw Black and brown people that looked like myself going through the same thing I went through in my community back in Tennessee. 6 minutes to the top of the hour. But just because certain Black folks didn't choose me to go into that position. Now watch, guess what I found out about Monsieur Candy? Monsieur Candy will say F you to Black folks to their face. He will do exactly like my man did on Django Unchained when they pulled up on the horses and he said, I'd like for you to meet your fellow cheeky Black brother. And my man said, wait a minute, you gonna let him, hold up, dude. What you gonna do? Hold it. Since you my nigga, what you gonna do is stop questioning me who I'm letting stay in my house. And you gonna go get that room ready. And I don't give a damn if I have to burn this thing down after you get the room ready, because I'm gonna get you and the other niggas that work for me to build it back up.
So who's that nigga on that nag?
Right. Hold it. And I love what Django said. Wait a minute, bro. You want to know my name? Stop asking him. Ask me. See, Django should have gave us something that all of us Black folks need to stop doing. Stop asking white folks who he is. Ask him. Are you so scared to speak to your own Black brother and sister that you got to ask somebody who don't look like them who they are? That's your problem. Y'all in rooms with these white folks trying to tell these white folks who Black folks are. You ain't even sit down and talk to the Black folks yourself, but you all, I'm the community advocate. I'm the community leader. You ain't community shit. And I said it. And you're mad at me, baby, stay mad at me, baby. Come for me if you will, because you're going to find out something. The last thing that y'all needed to have happen with me is what happened to me. Because like I told you, I even have folks that look at me and say, you all right? I ain't seen you in church in a while. I would have looked at them and say, y'all kind of remind me of the folks that go to McDonald's every day. And now all of a sudden, I'm walking, I'm eating healthy food and lettuce. And you look at me and say, are you all right? We ain't seen you in McDonald's in a few days. Oh, I'm fine. The question is, are you all right?
Yeah, I love it. I love
3
it. Just
minutes.
so dope. But that
Yes,
being
sir.
said, you on them Badlands song, like you on the Predator Badlands. Have you went to go and see it? Have you observed
And I have seen Badlands now more times than I can shake a stick at.
Are you serious? You were more than one time, Joe?
I'm very serious, because I always try to make a comparison to the comic book to the movie and see how close was it in relations. And it's very close. You know, I hope that they extend on the series, because what a lot of folks don't know is a lot of this is a crossover in comics. You know, you've got the Xenomorphs. The Xenomorphs, they fight everybody. They fought the Justice League. They fought the Avengers. You know, the Xenomorphs have showed up everywhere. The Engineers. And once again, I tell folks, you know, you got to understand the whole lore of sci-fi. And I'm glad you brought this up. 3 minutes. 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Y'all know I love my royalties. Listen, if you hadn't got it, go get it. If you hadn't got it, go get it. Now, let me say the following. Big ups to For Fun Gaming. For Fun Gaming has now exceeded 3 million subscribers, and big ups to those who are part of the For Fun gaming community. We are streaming on Twitch, on Discord. They stream so many places. I got folks that do the streaming. They do it now. To For Fun Gaming, the For Fun Gland, the For Fun who we coming to get you, Chicago. We coming at the next Call of Duty tournament. My team, we not gonna come in 6th place this time. We coming for the crown. We coming like my Pittsburgh Steelers came in yesterday. We catching everything. So y'all enjoy it. But listen, to all my folks out there in the gaming community, have fun. It is the holiday season. There's going to be a lot of bundles out there, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo bundles. Man, go get something to take your mind off of all this craziness of us bombing boats in Venezuela, in ice running into our cities, and just go out there and get some Mario coins and knock the Mario coins out of something this holiday season. That part. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I just wanted to say this is actually a great conversation right now for us at our ages, man. Like the past 5 to 6 months, Joe, the best thing came to my life, believe it or not, has been jigsaw puzzles, man. I've been enjoying my time sitting down for an hour or two. Got me something nice to eat, something good to drink, whatever on the screen. I'm jigsaw puzzling, man. It's the most decompressed, relaxed time. You on the video games. I implore anybody watching this, find something, bro. Don't just watch the news all day. You watch the social media feed all day. You got to have something. Wait a minute, Joe. What that is?
That's a Yautja. That's a predator. I got the Yautja. Hey, see, I've been to, y'all haven't noticed, this Yautja has been here for the longest. I have really, since I started hashtag Truth Be Told, I got Yautjas. I collect, hold it, wait a minute. But I collect them. I told you, see, I am, look, this is the guy. See, even
that's my dude.
Listen,
that's my dude, Batman. That's my guy. That's my guy.
So I'm going to end it with this. It's
okay, go ahead.
I just saw this out the corner of my eye.
All right, go ahead.
When young black men in power positions, even as young black men who are old enough to be Sean's son, my son. I don't know, Sean, Sean might not be old enough yet, but I am. I'm 58. What I saw with Texas A&M and South Carolina, when a young man ran through the tunnel because he was tired. He had ran, scored the touchdown for South Carolina, and he's coming out and he's paying no attention because he's probably exhausted, tired, and there's a state trooper walking and he bumps into the state trooper, and there's some chastisement that they relieve said state trooper of said duties. Let me say this to every law enforcement officer out there as I get ready to get off this podcast and go into my daily duties of protecting and serving. What you do when the cameras are not rolling and what you do when nobody can see you, that defines who you really are, and it shows the integrity, the honesty, and your level of protection and service for everyone. And if you can't do that, take the uniform off and go get you another occupation. Maybe you need to be a UPS driver. Maybe you need to be a car salesman. But what you don't need to be is right. But what you don't need to do is to put on a uniform and a badge where the full protection of the law is behind you when you should be protecting and serving instead of terrorizing and being the Gestapo. You're not the Gestapo. If a person accidentally bumps into you, that doesn't mean that you got to look at them as if you all of a sudden wanting to draw your weapon or your taser and do them something because they bumped into you. A bump is a bump. Accidents happen.
Just in everyday life, you can tell. I mean, we can tell if somebody had very malicious intent versus an honest mistake. Honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know, bro. We know.
So as I tell folks, if this man, and listen, cameras are everywhere. My Steelers showed that yesterday. Cameras are everywhere because everybody was like, man, Ramsey's acting a fool. Why is he doing Chase like that? Chase is a Louisiana boy. Chase is from LSU. Chase spit on Ramsey. And if you spit on me, I'm jacking you up, baby. I don't care who you're from, who you're with, who your peoples is. I'll jack you and your peoples up. Spit on me and find out. So yeah, sometimes you got to see the whole story, like with the Dak Prescott thing. You don't spit in my direction. If you spit in my direction, my man said, hold it. My man from the Eagles said, no, you're not going to spit in my direction and give me that look like come and do something because you standing behind two big white boys. I'll go through them to get to you, partner.
Right.
See, us as black folks got to stop that. We got to stop that. We got to stop these so-called, because now we have taken on characteristics of the slave owners. I really didn't do nothing. Oh, you did plenty. You just because we didn't see you do it. Then when it comes back around and there was a camera that catches it, now you're trying to use this line. It was AI. It wasn't. It was you.
And with the thing, trooper thing, it's an actual football player. If he wanted to put some pain on you, he'd have put that boom on you. He'd lower that boom on you.
It wasn't a football player. It was 3 black football players coming through that tunnel. So look, man, once again, to me, it's not what you do when the world is watching. The question is, what has this man done when the world wasn't watching, and he all of a sudden perceived to be offended by somebody black and brown that just bumped into him, or he on a traffic stop feels like he's been disrespected. Once again, sometimes God has a funny way of putting people in the spotlight that need to be put in the spotlight because they for years been doing stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. I tell people this is the time of exposure, and folks are getting exposed.
Yes, left and right, bro. Left and right. It's all coming out.
It's 5 minutes past the hour. Sean, I know you had a long night. I'm getting ready to have a long day.
Okay.
Listen, y'all, I want to say this, and I want y'all to understand this. There's a difference between religion and spirituality. For those of you who are out there doing your thing and trusting and believing that what you're doing is correct, I applaud you. For those of you who wake up every Wednesday and Sunday and go to an edifice, hear a pastor preach the word, and you believe in said word and you believe in what the pastor say, I applaud you. I would like to put one more thing on top of everything that you've been doing. Read it for yourself. I ain't telling you to stop going where you're going. I'm not telling you to stop doing what you're doing. What I'm telling you to do is to read it for yourself and ask same said God for understanding, wisdom, and direction. Guess what I've come to find out? I really sometimes don't need a middleman in everything.
You know what I said, Joe, in closing? We are so big on being extremists for some reason in our community, that versus mentality. I love both and. Both and. Like you saying, go to the place, do the rituals, stand, kneel, whatever it takes, and then on top of that, read. Not necessarily either or, do both of them. Both and. That's my word for the day. Both and.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep us both up here and pay attention. There's been 21 missile strikes on alleged drug smugglers who are no longer on this planet, who have got issued an instant death sentence. If they can do strategic strikes on drug boats coming to America that they presume to have drugs that have not been apprehended, they have not went through a process of being proven guilty. But once again, folks will tell you those are American rights. They're not Venezuelan rights. But if they can do it there, trust me, they can figure out a way to do it here. Just like they figured out a way to put ICE into DC, into Seattle, into Portland. Now they have ICE in Charlotte. ICE will soon be coming to New Orleans. If they can do it there, they can do it here. Pay attention. So I am going to do it a little differently, but I'm going to do it this way. Actually, Sean, because I do want to promote your podcast, tell them about what you got coming up, man. Tell them what you've done.
So tomorrow on the Sean P Experience, you see it on the Sean P Experience. I have a brand new author coming on at 3:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have the sister from the UK. She's over there in the UK, man. Her name is Eden Roy. Her brand new book is a Psycho Pomp and Circumstance. Psycho Pomp and Circumstance is a Southern Gothic novel. It's incredible. Come and check it out. Come in real time, ask questions, comment. We try to address it all in real time, just like this show. So come on to Sean P Experience on YouTube. Check us out. Support, like, share. Tell a friend, man.
That part. Support my brother Sean. I'm back, y'all. I'm back for a while. We're getting ready. I'm getting ready for Bayou Classic. So this week, we're going to really be strong in the show. Next week, we will be broadcasting from New Orleans. We'll probably be broadcasting Monday from New Orleans. We'll be broadcasting. And it'll be Thanksgiving weekend. And then the holidays are coming in. And I don't know when I'm going to break away for 6 months, but I'll be breaking away. And I won't be back until Essence. That part. But in the midst of all that, just keep locking in every day. We're here. And if we're not here, guess what? Life gonna still go on. The world gonna keep spinning. As I tell everybody, be better today than you were yesterday. And do something today to bless somebody somewhere, some way, that no matter what you do, there's no earthly way you could ever get paid back by them. Yeah, that part. And always remember this. There is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, willing he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing, no one stand against you. Keep learning, keep moving, keep believing, keep loving. Love conquers all. We up out of here. Peace.